Okay, well, we're working on a new trolley for the Lister D type. Um, just using some wood that came off of a pallet. It had these really thick runners on it, and also had this thinner stuff on it. So this is 3x4. So I've got it so it's 3 inches wide and then 4 inches in depth. So it's quite a substantial trolley for the Lister D. I was going to make it steerable, but I don't think I will now. It'll be a bit too high with the steering on it as well, so I'm just going to make it fixed axles, which it should still be relatively easy to move about, but the engine's going to be mounted so the flywheel is on this side, in line with the wheels, so the flywheel should overhang as much as the wheels, so it should be fairly sturdy, and we'll have a bit of overhang on the back, so the magneto petrol tank and all the governor assembly will be at the back, which should balance it off a little bit more, so it shouldn't topple over or anything like that, so it should be okay. It's going to be a hell of a lot better than what it's on at the moment. The wood is obviously got a few nails that I had to break off because none of it would come out. They use really tough nails on these pallets, but once it's painted it should look okay. These bits go underneath the trolley, around about there and there underneath, and then the wheels and the axles will be bolted to those. So yeah, I should have it done pretty soon, then I'll sand it back, paint it, and we'll think about getting the engine on it. Okay, this is the new trolley for the Lister D type, and as you can see, she's very much so nearly finished. There isn't a great deal really left to do to it at all. We've got all the axle blocks on, which are underneath, which Dan drilled out for me, so thanks for that. Just filed them a little bit so the axles slid in and out easily, and that was about it. We've cut the axles down and also drilled through them. Drilling wasn't that hard, cutting through them wasn't really that hard either, it didn't take too long. So we've got split pins in there now instead of Jubilee clips holding the wheels on. Then we've got these chromed dome top bolts that go all the way through to the axles and then end up about there. They've got lock nuts on, so they're not going to come loose. The trolley has threaded bar all the way through it, and tomorrow I'll put screws in these holes here as well, and obviously the engine bolts across the main timbers like so. So fingers crossed. One thing, the flywheel won't rub against the wood, fingers crossed. The engine won't ride on these bolts here at all, that's another fingers crossed. I did get all the measurements exact for these holes here, so the engine should bolt straight onto it. Again, fingers crossed. Obviously these are the wheels that are on the actual Lister D trolley at the moment. I've taken 2 off. The engine actually isn't off the trolley yet. I was going to was planning on doing that today, but I've run out of time now. It's going to go dark and I ain't got much light in the shed, and I really needed to have cleared out some stuff before I got it this far, so probably going to have the new trolley sitting about out here and swing the D-type around. Put a ramp down to the new trolley, slide her down. No way in hell am I lifting it, that's for sure. So that's the plan. I'm going to take those wheels off now and drop them back onto these axles and roll her back over there for tonight. And tomorrow, early tomorrow morning I hope, we should see the Lister D on its new trolley in the next bit of the video. Hopefully running as well. Hasn't been started since December. Yeah, I think so. December the 24th, I think it was. This was last run. Might have been run in the new year, I can't remember now. But it certainly hasn't been run for a few months, so she's still turning over fine. We haven't got any stuck valve issues. We've got plenty of compression. So yeah, hopefully she'll start, and hopefully she should look a damn sight better on her new trolley. Eventually when we start getting this to rallies, I'm not sure yet if I'm going to put plaques on a little board or if I'm going to screw plaques to the wood. I don't know yet. Got to make a information board and that for it, and then hopefully we can get it to a few rallies. That's the ultimate. Right, that'll do. Thanks for watching. The Lister D trolley is now complete. The engine's bolted on there. Wasn't too hard to get the engine on. I just slid it over from the old trolley to the new one with some sheets of cardboard along the runners of the trolley. Phil mentioned that, so I decided to use that approach, and it didn't scuff the wood at all. So yeah, quite pleased with that. And I think the end result looks pretty good actually. I can't really complain. It's all went relatively well. I got the engine on there and there was a slight wobble, but that's been resolved with just some washers, so it's now very sturdy. There's no wobble or anything. It was quite a substantial wobble, so it couldn't be left. If I ever run it on concrete, it would have made a right old racket. So I sorted that out then and there. That's been about it really. I've spliced the ends of the split pins apart, so the wheels are on there for good now, and it's quite sturdy. It's certainly isn't going to tip over. See, the wheels nearly take up the whole weight of the flywheel. You can tip it that way, not too easily, but it can tip that way. Obviously if you were doing something stupid with it, it would fall over, but it's never going to be doing anything daft. So I think it should be okay. It's a lovely day, but I'm not going to start it. I'm going to fight the temptation to start it. Going to save its old start for Wednesday, when we're going to be having a crank up with MP Mac, Nigel, and Make Do Amend one. The only real pig at the moment, it needs an oil change. It needs to be run till it's nice and warm for its oil change, and there's one oil drain bun on this side. I'll use the other side I think, but I'm gonna have to make something that can channel the oil down through here into a pot at the bottom, because otherwise it's just going to drain all over onto the wood. But other than that, everything else should be okay. When I was putting it on the trolley, I knew Lister D's, I think it's their serial number, is on the flywheel. I got my lightning mark there, but I thought my flywheel was too rusty to see it. But there it is. And the serial number, if it is the serial number, is definitely not a match to the one that's on the crankcase door. I do that anyway, because the bottom end is clearly from a different engine. The green is different. It was used possibly on a cement mixer or something, so it's had a replacement bottom end at some time from a donor engine, and instead of taking the flywheel and everything off, they've just left it all on there and put the head on the other engine back on. So we've got another serial number. Might try and date this one to see what engine the flywheel came off of. It looks to be 125850. That's what it appears to be. You can see it quite clearly. I've been debating whether to polish the flywheel, but it just rust like this again, and it is pre-pitted and sort of matches the rest of the engine with the flywheel surface rusty. I don't get any belt slippage with it. Oh, that's another thing, we should be able to actually belt stuff up to it a hell of a lot easier. Oh well, that's enough rabbiting on. We shall hopefully see that starting up on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.